Hello and welcome everyone to Women Speakers Association's WSA TV premiere show. I'm Laura Rubenstein, host and producer, and we have an incredible group of experts here, ladies who are rocking it in the speaking world and helping speakers succeed and inspiring people. I mean, as you know, this is a show of women who influence and impact and inspire global change. So I want to get right to them and have them share their wisdom. Oops, sorry about that. And so let's go over to Sharon. Hi, Sharon.
Hello everyone. Hello, Facebook family, and all those who are watching. My name is Sharon Alston. I'm an empowerment speaker, workshop facilitator, and an author of my book, Elizabeth's Daughter, There's Power in Adversity. And I share my personal story of facing and conquering adversity and letting my clients and audiences know that whatever adversity that you are facing, you have power within you to conquer it. So in addition to sharing my personal story, I also share steps on how you should approach overcoming adversity to achieve your goals, whatever
And
they may be.
where can they find you online?
They can find me at sharonspeakspower.com.
Great. And hi, Diane.
Hi, I'm Diane Dennis, and I'm the president of and founder of Inspired Media Communications, a multimedia PR firm, and you can find me at inspiredmc.com.
Great to have you. And hi, Charlotte.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me. I'm Charlotte Howard out of Charleston, South Carolina, and I'm a book writing prosperity coach from Heart Center Women Publishing. You can find me at www.heartcenterwomenpublishing.com.
Lovely. So we have a group of women here that you ladies are extraordinary. You're successful speakers and you help speakers, and some of you do. So today's topic is all about how to be successful as a speaker. So Sharon, I know you do a lot of speaking. You're so inspiring. What advice do you have about how to help people be more inspiring and get over adversity and be powerful on stage?
Well, I think one of the things is that you be true to yourself and have a platform, know your audience, and go out and deliver and be authentic. As far as overcoming adversity is concerned, the reason why I talk about that is because of my own personal life, having witnessed domestic violence, having witnessed my dad unfortunately take my mom's life, and other insurmountable adversities that I face as a result of that. So again, it's really, really important for me because that's my purpose. I'm walking in my purpose. I'm walking in faith and in my power to share my story so that I may inspire and help other people to conquer their own challenges and let them know to never, ever give up on themselves despite whatever adversity they are facing.
Yeah, your adversity really doesn't define you, but it can
Absolutely.
refine you in a sense.
Yes, and that's actually a term that I actually use, that adversity does not define you, it refines you, because it can really make you feel powerless and it can make you feel a certain way about yourself. And one of the important tips that I also speak about and I go into detail at an empowerment workshop is that it's important for us to really change our perspective about ourselves, how we think about ourselves, because adversity can, as I said, make you feel powerless. Whatever happened to you, or if you inflicted it upon yourself, it doesn't define you and it's not your future. And my story speaks to that. It's a very tragic story, but it's also a very compelling and human story that I talk about in depth in my book, Elizabeth's Daughter, There's Power in Adversity. And my book can be found at Amazon.com, Lulu.com, and BarnesandNoble.com, as well as my website, SharonSpeaksPower.com.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, it's really important to know that adversity doesn't have to define you, but it can actually refine you and inspire you to do great work. So once we're over our, not over, once we've accepted that and moved through that, now we can go to what like Diane and Charlotte are doing. So Diane, I want to, from your standpoint and your expertise as a publicist and a media mentor, tell us about what strategies you recommend to help people position themselves with their audiences.
As a speaker, I think one of the most important things is that you are stepping into your own authenticity and tell your story from your perspective. That, from a branding perspective, gives congruency right there. People want to know who you are, and bring, like Sharon says, bring yourself, bring your story into the message, which makes you a friend to the audience. And then there's a better opening for intimacy, emotional intimacy, where you can learn better from feeling connected. So that's one of the things. And then always know your audience, know the language that they speak. And what I always like to say, and what I do, is tell a heartwarming story. If they can laugh and be moved to tears and be informed and educated, you've done your job.
Once they've got this story and they're feeling comfortable with that, as a publicist, how can they leverage PR or press releases to be
Yeah.
successful as a speaker?
Yeah, press releases are fabulous. I use it as a branding tool, and it's kind of like an anchor. It's part of your press kit. So you want to make sure that you have all your collateral materials ready to go for any opportunity that might come up. So let's say you're speaking at a church down the street. Well, in that community, there's going to be a local newspaper. Send a press release to them. Network with your own social media. And if you want to go big, go national, use a international press release distribution service. That's what I use. And the ROI on that is amazing.
Because it might even help you get more speaking engagements. If you're announcing one speaking engagement, is that what you're recommending?
Exactly. Always be looking for the next.
Right. Excellent. Thank you for that wisdom. And Charlotte, now as a book writing coach, tell us about what speaker success strategies you advise people to use.
Well, like Sharon and Diane mentioned, knowing your audience and getting clear on that before you even decide to write your book, your target audience, getting a clear understanding so that you can provide a solution will definitely help people really be more captivated, whether you're sharing your story or whether you're sharing how to actually solve someone's problem. And so being clear on that is going to be really crucial when it comes to being a successful speaker and getting your message out there, sharing your story in a powerful way.
Wow. And how can speakers use their book to enhance their speaking success?
That's a great question. Thank you for that. Well, a lot of people don't realize is the book itself will actually help you to position yourself as the authority expert. It will also help you to create more visibility and credibility in your community, as well as if you're someone that's in a very competitive space, because you are an author, you're going to be looked at and choose more so before anyone else, because people mostly consider you automatically the authority in your area of expertise.
Yes. It's kind of like a business card and a credibility factor. So we've taken ourselves here today with your advice for speaker success is to turn your adversity into something that works for you and be authentic. Don't be afraid to share it. Use it as, a lot of people get motivated like Sharon to share it and be very passionate about it and let people know that there's hope and that they are more powerful than they know. Once you step into that power, then you can use the power of the press and the power of books and being an author. Doing what Diane said is to, get it out there, go big, go national, press release, put it in your media kit. Love that. And then of course, Charlotte, your strategy for getting that story in paper so people can take you home. And then you have the credibility that, between the press release and the, and the book, you are just can become a highly sought after speaker. But that all starts with this foundation, like Sharon was talking about, of feeling empowered and never giving up on yourself and having hope. So, this is the perfect triple play formula. If I don't know if you think so, but from what I hear in speaker success strategies today, and what I want to learn more now about is who each of you are, who you work with, and what you're passionate about doing with them, maybe a story. So Sharon, why don't you start off?
Well, I have a small business. It's an LLC, Sharon Speaks Power, LLC to be exact. And my audiences include young and older adult men and women, teens as well, because I also spoke at a high school. And I do have some families where they have teenagers because I also conduct a teen empowerment workshop. So for me, I work with a variety of people in all different ages. I would say, frankly, 18 and up, because adversity is something that everyone will face. It does not matter who you are, how old you are. In other words, it does not discriminate. And I'm a perfect example of that. And again, back to my book, Elizabeth's Daughter, There's Power in Adversity. I share my story in the adversity that I had nothing to do with, that I faced and was actually born into as a child and a young girl, and just sort of growing up and navigating through life, having to deal with an abusive father. Also, I wanted to raise awareness about how it impacts children who witness domestic violence. We have a lot of information and resources available about domestic abuse and women who are abused. However, I did not see too much of anything growing up about children who witness it. So that was a huge piece in my book. And that was something that was necessary for me to share and open up about. And it wasn't easy. It was not an easy process. But again, it was necessary. And I just love and I really do enjoy helping people, inspiring people, and just saying, look at me. This is what I endure. These are the things that I have experienced, but I'm here to tell you that despite your adversity, you have the power to overcome it. You have power inside of you, no matter what it looks like. And it may feel like it's not there, but it is. It always has been. And that's something that I learned, that the power that lies within me, that's from God. No one can ever take that away from me. But again, I had to learn that. And that's something that I talk to my audiences and my clients about as well. And I think it's really, really important to put that information out there. And your adversity may not be the same as mine. However, adversity is adversity nevertheless, and it impacts all of us.
And tell us about the impact that your work, like at Women's Residence recently, might have
Oh,
had.
yes. One of many cherished experiences, I spoke at a women's group, and one of the attendees, she just really hit the ground running. I also offer an empowerment kit that really helps you become organized and get on track toward your victories so that you can push forward, because there are steps. There are certain things you need to do. Whatever work you put into it is what you can get out of it. As a result, she used her empowerment kit, she followed the steps, and she worked her way out of the residence. Obviously, I cannot mention because it is confidential. And she applied to college. And
Wonderful.
I could not I could not have been happier, because someone actually was helped. And that's what I'm here to do. If I help one person, two or three people, then I feel I've really accomplished something. And I'm just simply walking in my purpose.
Love that. Thank you for the
Thank
beautiful
you.
gift you've given to women and men and those who need your message.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, you're welcome. And Diane, I'd love to hear about you. Who do you work with? What do you love doing with them?
Well, I work with whether it's an individual or a company that want to go from being an expert to an influencer in their field. You can take a dentist or a doctor or a lawyer or an author, and they're just, in their little pods doing their work, but they want to get the word out. They don't want to just be seeing their clients behind closed doors. They want some bigger exposure, and they want a platform. And so that's what I do, is help them shift from expert to influencer. And Sharon, I love your passion. And if you need a publicist, give me a call.
I will take you up on that offer, most definitely. This is why I love WSA. I'm so happy I'm a member of this organization.
You're the kind of person I love to work with, because you already have that gut strength and power to want to know what you want, and you deliver it, and you deliver it with all that you are and all that you have. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And Diane, do you have a story about how you helped somebody do exactly what you just offered to Sharon?
Yes, right. So I was working with a therapist in New York, mental health therapist, and she had her specialty was helping people or couples with infidelity. So she wanted to also fill her practice up with patients. So I always look at what the goals are first. What are your goals? And then how can I apply marketing and PR strategies to meet those goals? So her goals were to get a really big platform, to get her book out there. She wanted to be a bestseller, and to get in national media, and to fill up her practice. That was a pretty tall order. So what the thing that we found the most effective was, I just ramped up my press releases. And of course, infidelity, everyone wants to hear about what celebrity's cheating with who. And so, there was always so much material that we could use for the press releases. I wrote them every 30 days. That includes, you have to have a robust budget for that. And she just, her visits to her website just quadrupled, and her book did become a bestseller. She filled her practice and she got national news. So, I think if the bigger you think, because if people come to me and they say, well, I just want, a little bit here and a little bit there, that's what our focus is. But if you have to say, really, you have to dig deep and say, how big do I want to go? Start out wanting big, and then you go as far as you can.
Beautiful. Well, great. Congratulations on the stellar success you've had. And, when you have a compelling topic like that and you put together, put some money behind it and do effective strategies, you've got a winning combo there. And it sounds like you know your craft very well. So congratulations on that. And let's go over to Charlotte. Sorry. Charlotte, tell us about who you work with and what you love doing with them.
Absolutely. So I work with women who are actually transitioning like from the corporate space, and they actually want to create a freedom-based lifestyle. And a lot of that involves, of course, a freedom-based business. And I help them to create a freedom-based business and lifestyle that where they can take their books and utilize it and craft it how they want to based on their stories and their expertise and their skills, and build out their book business to 6 figures plus.
Nice.
And so even though I work with women primarily, I have worked with men clients as well. So, but women is definitely my primary audience.
And how did you get into this?
I actually got into it after being diagnosed when I was 28 years old with carpal tunnel syndrome. I was a beauty salon professional operating multiple salons, were able to take those to 6 figures. And after being diagnosed, I was looking for a way to really take the skills that I already learned in corporate to leverage it and still be able to stay in the industry, but make a big impact. And so, even though I've been working, literally 40 hours plus a week, I was able to then transition and try to find a way, find a coach, work with my coach, and then made that transition from corporate America and into the entrepreneurial space.
Wow, congratulations. No, thanks for all the good work to help, people transition into something that they love, because you've done it, and then you help them, coach them through getting a book out there, which, we here at Women Speakers Association, we have a whole publishing arm, WSA Publishing. And, we feel that no woman should leave here without her message being shared in a book. So thank you for the work you do there. And I wanted to hear from each of you about, what has been the value of Women Speakers Association to you so far. So Sharon, why don't you give us I know you mentioned something earlier, but go ahead and say it again.
Yes. For me, it's basically just having an opportunity to meet like-minded women, getting the help that I need, as opposed to going to various seminars and joining other organizations and perhaps not really getting a return on my investment. The accessibility of the members, belonging to the premier group, the private group, and all groups that exist through Women Speakers Association, as well as the support and the constructive criticism, the professional advice. It just speaks volumes to me, and it's just been priceless. And I really cherished it. And just having an opportunity to appear on WSA TV is huge for me. So I would say, as a member, for me, that really, really speaks volumes.
Well, thank you for being here. And
Yes,
Charlotte,
thank you.
let's hear from you about what is the value of Women Speakers Association.
Wow, thank you for that. And like Sharon mentioned, I mean, I've been able to create so many collaborative joint venture projects. You guys always bring on a lots and lots of value, like different speakers, like from all over the world. I love the ability to be able to tap into the international aspect, and many of the speakers you can connect with them locally because you find out, well, hey, even if they're in a state that's not far from you, you're still able to connect. I love that aspect. It's like, you know, if you're going to be a part of any type of association, you definitely want to, especially if your audience is women, you definitely want to be a part of the Women Speakers Association because of the value and the connections. And I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, we love having you.
Thank you.
Bravo.
Yeah. And Diane, tell us about your experience with WSA and what the value is for you.
Well, as a publicist, just being a member adds credibility to your profession as a professional speaker. So right there, and then the network and community collaboration, and being introduced to a wide range of different entrepreneurial women who always have something to offer that you can take back, regardless of whether you are in their industry or not, to learn something and develop new skills. So it's a growing experience as well.
Well, you've certainly given us lots to take away with all of you in your expertise. I want to put everybody on camera so they can say hello to everyone out there. And we will be back with another episode of Women Speakers Association's WSA TV's premiere show next week with more premiere members. If you want to do what Sharon and Diane and Charlotte have all done and become a premiere member, go to joinwsa.com and join us. And we also have a speaker success plan there for free if you want to just put your toe in the water. But we'd love to get you more visibility. We'd love to hook you up with the network and get the value that Sharon and Charlotte and Diane have as well. So we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.